Hello everyone, today is Sunday, August 2nd, 2020, 88 degrees Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. I just got off the subway at the Broome Street station, the N train. This train is going to Coney Island. Today I'll be walking through the neighborhood of Soho. We'll see how Soho is doing during the reopening. Right now, New York City is in its phase 4 reopening from COVID. Most of the retailers are open right now with restrictions, so we'll see how that's going. I'll go to the northwest corner of Broadway and Prince Streets. Definitely very quiet on the subway compared to a normal weekend crowd. But we'll see how this neighborhood's changed or how it's thrived. All right, there's some people here now, but comparatively to last year or any other summer weekend, it's empty. Many of you probably won't realize it if you haven't seen this area before COVID. But if you were to come here the same time last year, you have people here, one on top of each other. Just taking a quick look at the street scene right now. Yeah, I would say it's like at a 10th of what it normally can be. And it's sad to see it like this. Here's pink Victoria's Secret. I think Victoria's Secret is having some troubles. Some people were saying they declared bankruptcy. Maybe they did, maybe they're not, but I'm not sure. I've seen pretty much all of the Victoria's Secret related stores in New York closed. This one is still boarded up. A lot of these boards too, I've seen them left over from the time when the George Floyd protests were a lot more common. Many opportunists use that movement to loot stores and commit crimes, and that was totally not cool. I'm glad that New York City's not in that time frame anymore. Oh wow, the Museum of Ice Cream is open? Let me go check it out. Traffic is definitely back to Soho. This is called Advanced New York City Jaywalking. All right. Look at this, the Museum of Ice Cream. I've actually never been in here yet, but I would assume that the museum itself is open. Whoa. Let me go in and take a look very quick. This is a really interesting place. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to mute the audio or not, but hello. Stay cool. Very neat place. Definitely very Instagrammable. Oh, there is a admission, but it's closed, so I guess they're not letting people inside. That's what I figured, because a lot of the museums around the city, they're not even open yet. The Met's not scheduled to open until the end of August, and that's the biggest museum in New York City. So it's just the ice cream shop that's open. They got all these flavors here. They're busy scooping it up. Yeah, it just seemed kind of strange to me that the Museum of Ice Cream would be open when most museums are closed, but it's just the ice cream serving section and the merchandise area. Banana Republic is open. I did see a couple of Instagram posts from the Museum of Ice Cream inside the actual museum itself. It looks really interesting in there. I mean, it's a shame that it's not open anymore, but it's understandable why they have to do it. Here's Uniqlo. One of my favorite stores in New York City, Uniqlo. So, just across the street, I see office space, another vacant building, or vacant storefront, I should say. I'm not sure if the building's vacant, but there's like 4 or 5 vacant storefronts across the street. I know many retailers were even struggling before the pandemic hit, just due to the high cost of doing business here in New York City, but the pandemic, it just made everything tougher. On a previous walk I did through Soho, I explained about its history, how it was just lofts at one point and just abandoned buildings after World War II. It's called the Hell's 100 Acres. But artists scooped it up, and back then it wasn't desirable to live in. Now all those artists got priced out, and the only things left here are the big retailers. They're really the only ones that can afford the rents here. So this is Spring Street.
I've just finished here now.
It feels so strange still to be in Soho with this many little people. Look at this. There's an actual health and safety advisor outside or inside Artesia. If you want to go in, they gotta inspect you. This is the new way of doing business now when you go inside certain stores. Look at Lululemon, it's pretty popular. Lululemon, the athletic store. I'd say there's about 10 people on the line right now. It looks a lot longer because people are spaced out. Sometimes those lines can be deceiving. They go down the block, but once you get on the line's only about like 15-30 minutes. I see a few people going into Zara. This one, Adika, has a group of people going in right now. I guess they're really excited about the smoking hot sale that's going on, up to 70% off. Here's MAC, the cosmetics store. I only knew it was MAC from the sign up there, but this store is boarded up. Here's Bloomingdale's, the big department store, which is owned by Macy's. Also a secret, if you're in the area and you need a restroom, I've always found the Bloomingdale's to be a reliable choice. So here in Soho, you do see some people outside. People are always going to need to shop for clothes and other accessories, but not the foot traffic that I used to have from the tourists and the people traveling here. That's what a lot of Soho cater to. This is Broome Street. It's a popular street for drivers to travel on to get to the Holland Tunnel that goes to New Jersey. I am going to walk one more block to Grand Street and then head up some of Soho's lesser known streets. Those are the streets with the high-end retailers. There's TJ Maxx, that one's open. I would assume stores like TJ Maxx, which do clearance sales and resale from other big box retailers that haven't sold their inventory, to do very well because of the cheaper prices. But you do have to be wary of TJ Maxx too. I have heard of those stores doing some sneaky things with their products. They'll get the expensive brand to make a piece of clothing or an accessory specifically for TJ Maxx and some of these stores and claim that they were unsold from a big box retailer. Meanwhile, it was an inferior product all along. So you just got to be careful sometimes, just letting it out there. Here's a space for lease. I would have made a joke that Soho looks like NoHo. NoHo meaning that there is no more Soho, but the NoHo neighborhood is actually a thing north of Houston Street. Maybe this neighborhood should be renamed Oh No Soho. Okay, so I'm not sure if this piece of board was part of Wells Fargo, but it doesn't really make sense for this part of the store to be boarded up. Meanwhile, this side is not. Boards do detract from the aesthetics and the appeal of the neighborhood, so it is sad to see even boards up in general. I remember walking Soho in April, back when the height of the Black Lives Matter protests were going on and the looting was really crazy throughout the city. How I saw all these boards in Soho, and it was surreal just to see all of this. It really looked like New York City was preparing for a hurricane or something. Simply unimaginable. I'm not sure which this store is, or what this store is. There's no signage. You can see people here, they even painted over the boards and on the exterior, the facade. This is Mercer Street, by the way. I don't think these high-end retailers will have much business, if at all. Looks like someone's having issues with their power, I guess. They gotta bring in a generator to supply their electricity and their utilities. Has been a very warm summer so far. We're constantly getting temperatures above the mid-80s. Seems quite typical for July and August weather in New York City. There's Broome Street and Mercer. All these mean-looking cars ready to run me over as soon as the light turns green because they want to go to the tunnel. But I joke. Here's Kate Spade, New York. I do not see a single customer inside Kate Spade. Not a single one. This store is still boarded up. Don't know what this is. Here's another store for lease. I'm telling you, the retail industry in Soho is hurting very badly right now. Who knows how much rent these places need to pay in order to keep their storefronts, and they don't have the foot traffic to accommodate it. This is UGG, maker of the very fashionable footwear. They're not even open. Everyday essentials since 1860. Sunspell, England. All right, there's two people in that store. You can see there's even some writing on the sidewalk here. This says "Be pretty smart." And this one says woke up, black, blessed. And here's BLM. There are Black Lives Matter movements still going on throughout the city, but they're nowhere near as the height back in April. Or was in May? I keep saying April or May, but I forget when it happened. But one of those months. No, I think it was May. Time's just going by so fast now. It's August, and it just seems like yesterday I was celebrating New Year's. Here's the juice press. It is open, but right now, a lot of these places, they can only do takeout or dine-out service, as well as outdoor dining. But for a juice place, I don't think there even needs to be an outdoor seating area. I could understand for places like eating, but not for that place. Here's Georgetown Cupcake. I completely expected this coming down here. The high-end retailers would be harder hit than the lower cost retailers on Broadway. Here's Scholastic at 130 Mercer. This might be the headquarters of the Scholastic Company in New York City. Here's the Nespresso store for those of you who like instant coffee. They got the Nespresso store right there. Here's Finelli Cafe. They got some outdoor seating options here. I actually wouldn't mind eating here at ⁴ Well, maybe not on this side because there's more traffic, but on Mercer Street, there really isn't too much car traffic. Sometimes there's these outdoor dining options, and it's not the restaurant's fault because they couldn't have prepared for this, but they're forced to put their outdoor dining out into the busy street where there's cars coming all the time. But then there's some restaurants which got lucky and they have outdoor dining on a quieter street over here. So there'll be less dirt and dust being picked up from the cars. Yeah, this block is pretty dead except for that restaurant there on the corner. Here's a store for rent. I don't know. Here's Dolce and Gabbana. They're boarded up as well, and I don't know. These high-end retailers, they're really hurting. Right now, even the rich, they don't want to go shopping. Or if they do, they'd rather shop for the essentials, going to the low-cost retailers. At least that's my thinking. Oh, by the way, reopening, removing the plywood. We'll pick it up and donate it to artists in need. These people will pick up and remove the plywood for free. They won't even charge these businesses to remove the plywood. So interesting advertisement there. All right, folks, I think I'm going to end this video here. I'm pretty sure the next block of Soho and the other ones after it are going to be pretty similar to this one. But now you get an idea of what Soho is like during the Phase 4 reopening on a summer weekend afternoon. But if you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button for me for the YouTube algorithm. Share it with your friends, your family. Leave a comment down below if you want. And I'll see you all next time. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
The next stop is 5th Avenue.